Hello, and welcome back to English for Life, your go-to podcast for improving your English skills for the real world. I'm your host, Emma.
And I'm Daniel. It's great to have you with us for episode 6. Today we're diving into a topic that is absolutely essential, not just for language learners, but for everyone. We're talking about the art of effective communication.
That's right, Daniel. Communication is the foundation of all our relationships, both personal and professional. Being able to express your thoughts clearly and understand others is a superpower. Today, we're going to break down what it means to be a truly effective communicator and give you some practical skills to use right away.
So let's start with the basics. Emma, when we say effective communication, what are we really talking about? It's more than just talking, isn't it?
Absolutely. Effective communication is a two-way street. It's about sending a message, yes, but it's also about ensuring the person receiving it understands it in the way you intended. It involves clarity in your speech, active listening to understand others, and even nonverbal cues, like your body language and tone of voice.
I think the understanding part is where things often go wrong. I have a story about that. A few years ago, I was working on a group project. My team leader sent an email saying, "Let's meet tomorrow to finalize everything." I thought finalize meant just giving a final look over the completed work. So I showed up without my notes, ready for a quick 15-minute meeting.
Oh no, I think I see where this is going.
Exactly. It turned out that for my team leader, finalize meant a 3-hour session to write the conclusion and edit the entire report from scratch. I was totally unprepared. My lack of clarity on that one word led to a very stressful and inefficient meeting. It taught me the importance of confirming understanding and not making assumptions.
That's a perfect example, Daniel. A simple follow-up question like, just to confirm, what should I bring to the finalization meeting? Could have saved you a lot of trouble. This brings us to a huge part of communication, active listening.
Right. Active listening isn't just staying quiet while the other person talks. It's a skill. It means you are fully concentrating on what is being said rather than just passively hearing the message of the speaker.
Exactly. It's about paying attention with all your senses. A key technique is to paraphrase what you've heard. For example, you could say, "So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying we need to focus more on marketing." This shows you're engaged and gives the other person a chance to clarify.
It makes the other person feel valued and heard. I think it also requires a great deal of empathy, trying to understand the emotions and intentions behind the words.
It really does. I remember a time when a friend was telling me about a problem she was having at work. My first instinct was to jump in and offer solutions, but I stopped myself. Instead, I just listened. I nodded, made eye contact, and just let her speak.
That can be incredibly difficult, just to listen without trying to fix things.
It was. But at the end of our conversation, she gave me a hug and said, "Thank you so much. I feel so much better." I hadn't actually done anything except give her the space to be heard. By the end, she had figured out her own solution just by talking it through. It was a powerful lesson in the value of just listening.
That's a brilliant story. On the flip side of listening, let's talk about the speaking part, specifically being clear and concise. It's one thing to have a great idea, but if you can't articulate it well, the idea might get lost.
This is so important for English learners. Sometimes there's a temptation to use very complex sentences or advanced vocabulary to sound fluent, but often simplicity is much more effective. Being concise means getting your point across without using unnecessary words.
I learned this the hard way. I was mentoring a junior colleague and trying to explain a new software. I became so verbose, using all the technical jargon, trying to show how much I knew. After 20 minutes, he just looked at me with a completely blank expression.
I think we've all been there.
He finally stopped me and said, "So, do I just click the green button?" And he was right. I could have explained it in 2 sentences. It was a humbling reminder to know your audience and keep your message as simple and direct as possible. Avoid jargon unless you're certain the other person understands it.
That's great advice. Think about your main point and build your message around that. A coherent argument is always more powerful than a complicated one.
Speaking of words, I think this is a perfect time to transition into our vocabulary section. We've used some excellent words today that are all related to communication.
Great idea, Daniel. Let's kick it off. Our first word is clarity. Clarity is a noun, and it means the quality of being easy to understand. For instance, for effective communication, clarity is more important than using complex vocabulary.
Excellent. Word number 2 is concise. It's an adjective. If you are concise, you give information clearly and in just a few words. A great sentence is, his instructions were clear and concise, so everyone knew exactly what to do.
Next up, we have empathy. Empathy is a noun, meaning the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, as in having empathy for your colleagues can improve teamwork and communication.
Our fourth word is a verb, paraphrase. To paraphrase is to restate something in your own words, often to make it clearer. For example, could you paraphrase what the speaker said? I didn't fully understand his point.
Perfect. Now for a word that describes what we should try to avoid, verbose. It's an adjective that means using more words than necessary. A good example is, his speech was so verbose that many people in the audience lost interest.
And here is what we should aim to be: articulate. This adjective means being able to express ideas and feelings clearly and effectively. For instance, she is a very articulate speaker who can make complex topics easy to understand.
Another word to be careful with is jargon. Jargon is a noun for special words or expressions used by a particular profession or group that are difficult for others to understand. As in, the IT department's email was full of technical jargon that no one could understand.
And our final word today is coherent. An adjective, coherent means logical and consistent. A sample sentence would be, he proposed a coherent plan of action that was easy for everyone to follow.
Those are 8 fantastic words to add to your vocabulary. Practice using them this week. So to recap our episode, effective communication comes down to a few core ideas. Speak with clarity and be concise. Listen actively and with empathy, and always check for understanding.
It's a skill that you can always improve, and the more you practice, the better and more confident you will become in your English conversations. A small change like deciding to truly listen in your next conversation can make a huge difference.
That brings us to the end of episode 6 of English for Life. We hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We'll be back soon with our next episode, which is titled Say It to Achieve It, talking about goals in English. We're going to cover all the language you need to set and discuss your ambitions.
It's going to be a great one. Until then, keep practicing, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye for now.